Today I'd like to show you how to make these cute little origami ornaments that could be used as Christmas tree decorations or for any other festive occasion. You begin with 2 pieces of paper, preferably in contrasting colors, and you're going to fold each one the same way. Begin by folding them in half to create a large triangular shape, and then once you have folded it in half, you'll fold it in half again, bringing the 2 corners to meet together, making an even smaller triangle shape. Once you get those creases set, you're going to set your finger into one of the little pockets that have formed and push it all the way up to the top so it opens that section up. And with your other thumb, I like to press down, and this is called the squash fold. Now you've squashed the triangle into a flattened square shape, and you'll want to do that on the other side as well. So you'll flip the paper over, but here we need to put a guideline crease in to make it easier to replicate the same fold. And we do that by bringing that top corner down to the center of the bottom corner, which I've rotated the paper here just because it's easier to fold. And we're just doing this to put the crease in. And once I've done that right there, I'm going to unfold it because that crease is a guideline fold. I like to compare this next fold to turning the page on a book. I use that center crease line and I fold the paper in half towards the right as if I'm turning back on the page of a book to go back to the previous page. And in doing that, it creates another squash fold where I can then just press the square down and replicate the fold I've already done on now the back side of this section. I'm just going to align everything, get it all tucked in as neatly as I can. I'm then going to want to repeat the next fold 4 times. Take that top edge and fold it inward toward the center line. And then you'll repeat that fold. I'm just rotating the paper over to the back side and doing the next section. And then I'll do the next section and rotate it back to the first side and do the last section. But you could do, both the left and right on the front and flip it over and do the left and right on the back, or you can rotate around the way that I just showed. You'll open each of those sections because, again, these are guideline folds. And now we're going to do another squash fold, but this will be a triangular shaped one where I'm setting my finger in the little pocket. I want to fold the paper back along the center crease line just enough so that I can then see I can push down and create the squash fold as a triangle shape. And I'm going to do that 4 times. So I'm flipping it over. I'm just grabbing the next one that's available across from the first one, but on the back side. Put my finger in, squash it down. I'll do that 2 more times just by flipping the paper to the side as if I'm turning a book page. That releases the other section there and makes it easier to access it, to repeat the fold. And then I'll do the same on the back side. Now, I'm folding very quickly when I make these tutorials, and I've actually had quite a few people complain when they watch these on YouTube that I'm going too fast. I always recommend in the show note description that people can always slow the playback speed down by using the gear setting. The reason that I make the videos actually often go even faster than I would normally fold when I'm working in the studio is because I unfortunately don't have access to unlimited high-speed internet. And because of that, it makes it very problematic for me to make long videos. Shooting them is not the problem. Uploading them to the internet is where I run into trouble. I have a Verizon hotspot where I have 22 gigabytes of high-speed data each month that have to last me for anything I do, like teaching a live stream class or sometimes making a 20-minute class video for a client and sending it over to them through Dropbox. It means that when I do other videos, if I've run out of data, then I have to rely on our AT&T high-speed internet that is not high-speed at all. And it basically goes like this. For every minute the tutorial is long, it takes an hour for my internet to upload it. And that means if I make a 20-minute video, it takes 20 hours for it to upload. This is why I try to keep my videos no longer than 10 minutes long, preferably no more than 8 minutes long, because quite often I end up having to let the video upload for that long, which you can imagine is not fun, to say the least. But here I just repeated everything that I did before on the red section, now on the green section, and just making sure that all the creases are set, everything's in place. And sliding the two units together isn't that hard, but it is a little tricky. The thing you want to keep in mind is set the model so that it's flattened. On one side, you'll see all color, like the green, and on the other side, you'll see the white interior, like the red. And the way it interlocks is you slide the whole section, the green one, into the little pocket on the red side. So where you see that white paper, it's going to be hidden. And there's no easy way to do this quickly that I have found. It's just a matter of doing each section one by one. Rest assured, they're going to get caught. They're going to get folded over and tucked inside each other incorrectly. And that's okay because you can fix it each time it happens. So see how I'm just sliding that section in. And then once I know that section is in there, I'm going to move to the next section, which is behind it. And you can see as I start pulling those sections apart how the red section is folded in half and stuck on one side. So see, I just open it very gently and flatten it and push it together. And now I need to do it on the next section. And yeah, I could have tried to do this so that it was very seamless and made it look really easy. But I don't think that's helpful because that's not going to be your experience when you go to put these components together. You'll end up going through what I'm going through here and see like it popped out. That's okay. I'm just going to grab it, tuck it inside, and then keep going. And despite thinking that you're doing them all correctly, it's also not unusual to, at the end, realize something's not right, which happened in this demonstration, which I think is a good thing because it kind of shows you that it can get a little confusing at times. But if you just focus on the section you're working on and don't worry about the rest of it, you can see your way through and figure out where everything goes. Just remember that the long, solid colored section tucks inside of the other side where you can see the white paper. So see here, it's almost right, but not quite. So I have to open it up, tuck it in, flatten it out. And then I missed the last one, which I didn't realize at the time. But then when I went through to try to straighten out all the flaps, two of them wouldn't open right there. And it's because I had inadvertently skipped the very last set. So then it's the same thing. Just slow down. I open it up. I ease it over. And it's fine. So don't get frustrated. I think it's better if I tell you to anticipate something like that will happen than to try to make it sound like it won't, because it will. It's not a big deal. Once they're all together, then I just use pressure with my fingers to kind of open them up so they're all equidistant. Now I'm flattening it so that I can run a needle and thread through the model to turn it into a hanging ornament. And I just very carefully push the needle through. This one's rather thick, so it took a little extra shove there to get it to go through. But you want to be really careful so you don't tear the paper. And then I just tie it in a knot. And then I have to reopen all of the sections, kind of flare them out like flower petals almost. And it just takes a little bit of time, but as you go through it, you'll see, especially if you look at it from the top down, you can see which sections need to be nudged a little bit more than other sections. If you don't want the model to accidentally come apart, I've discovered all I need to do is put a tiny dab of glue on like a toothpick or a straight pen and just set it in between two of the sections anywhere. It really doesn't matter whereabouts you do that. As long as you put one dab of glue in, it's going to be fine. And there it is, your holiday ornament. I hope you have fun making these decorations, and thank you for dropping by the Tinygami studio.